If I had Ghana in my hand,
His Excellency the President was subsequently informed accordingly, and Utufo Osetu the Segura Santini was also informed. His Excellency the President has caused an official statement to be made confirming Nana Konadu's death. At this stage, the family is obviously in mourning and will crave your indulgence to give us some privacy. All further notices will be relayed by the government. Thank you very much.
Your decision to be a member of the NDC before, was it a personal decision or it was one born out of your close ties with Mr. Rawlings?
I didn't join the NDC. I helped to build the NDC. So there are two different things.
Okay.
I didn't join. So because some of us were not CPP or UP or anything, and the rest of them were like, well, those of us who belong to some other group, we're going back to our grouping. But for those of you who have nowhere to go, well, that's your problem. So then we sat back and said, okay, in that case, let's build something that is revolutionary. So that's what we did.
Your decision to be a member of the NDC before, was it a personal decision or it was one born out of your close ties with Mr. Rawlings?
I didn't join the NDC. I helped to build the NDC. So there are two different things.
Okay.
I didn't join. So because some of us were not CPP or UP or anything, and the rest of them were like, well, those of us who belong to some other group, we're going back to our grouping. But for those of you who have nowhere to go, well, that's your problem. So then we sat back and said, okay, in that case, let's build something that is revolutionary. So that's what we did.
From the residence of Nana Konadu Agyeman Rawlings, if you just joined us, we're just hearing of breaking news this hour that the former First Lady, Nana Konadu Agyeman Rawlings, has passed. And as you heard Gracie talk to us about some of the things that she's done, her death, as we hear now, is coming roughly about 5 years after the passing of her husband, Ghana's first president of the Fourth Republic, Jerry John Rawlings. Let's tell you a bit more about the former First Lady. We will say that she is a Ghanaian politician. You heard Grace talk about how much she loved the 31st December Women's Movement, which she founded back in 1982, not only to empower women, but also to rally support for the political period of the time. We very well know that she served as First Lady from 1971 and 1981. Then in 2000, where the NDC lost the election, ushering in a new party. We also know about the vast work she did with the women of the 31st December Women's Movement across all 10 regions of this country, nearly in every district of this country. Almost every market woman was part of the 31st December Women's Movement. And I'll tell you a bit more as our coverage of her passing progresses. But Agyeman Rawlings is also known for running for president in 2016, making her the first woman to do so in this country. She was born on November 17th, 1948. In Cape Coast, Ghana. She received her secondary education at the Chimotu School, where she met her future husband, Jerry John Rawlings. She studied art and textiles at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, and then earned a diploma in interior design from the London College of Arts, among other qualifications in management and philanthropy. We also know that she did an 18-month internship in Switzerland. Now, she served as First Lady during her husband's 10 years as head of state and president, and that's why we talk about 1979, to 1982, thereabout. And then it also continues formally when the Fourth Republic is set in motion in 1992, where she stayed, well, not in office, but she stayed on as First Lady from that period until 2000. She also became the first vice chair of the NDC back in 2009. She challenged President John Evans Atta Mills for the party's flag bearership in 2011. Of course, we know the history that came along with that. She couldn't make that cut. She later left the party to form her own with a very similar name to the party her husband helped found, which is the National Democratic Party, NDP. She was the first female to run for president on the ticket of the NDP in that 2016 general election. She's done so much for women from across the country. There was no election in this country up until the 2000s that a 31st December women's movement didn't play a crucial role. I want to take you back in time a few years ago when she sat down with our Johnny Hughes. Let's hear her in her own words.
But it has a lot of information. You should go out there and grab your copy. It Takes a Woman. So the title of the book, It Takes a Woman, talks about your connection to the Asante leadership, the Queen Mother and all of that, how they have shaped their sons to govern and rule and all of that. How is that? Maybe you'd want to throw a bit of more light on that for us.
Yeah. The title itself is a bit, you look at it and I'm at the back there, and you think I'm just going to talk about myself.
Right.
But the title is really to show that it really does take a woman to get things going, whether it's in the home, whether it's in the school. If you have more women in your factory, trust me, your factory will do better. If you give women the strength